Hey, my name is Beau, and today I want to dive deep into what I call the profit without pressure game plan. Just in the past 12 months, my business has done about $900,000 in sales, largely because I followed this plan. So let's dive into it. First of all, how did I even come up with this plan? Well, I've been in the online marketing world since about 2013. That's when I started selling digital products online for the first time. That's when I went full time as an online entrepreneur, as a creator. And like most people, I struggled a lot in the early years. It was just a long period of trial and error for probably like the first 7 years. I was making some money, but not that much. And those years kind of sucked, to be honest, but I learned so much. And eventually I developed a more systematic way of growing an online business, a way that didn't burn me out, a way that allowed me to scale my business without stress, without complexity, without having to hire a big team, without having to do sales calls. I designed my business in a way that gave me the maximum amount of freedom. And over the years, I slowly developed a process that worked for me. And so now I want to share it with you. I've been using this system here very successfully since about 2020. So this has been tested and proven over a number of years. And I think it's going to be a game changer for you. So let's zoom in. The first key element is your personal brand. Now, if you're here, you probably already understand the value of a personal brand, but I want to stress this a little bit because I think people underestimate it sometimes. You have to see that we live in a very noisy online world. There's more and more creators coming onto the scene every single day, more people trying to sell you stuff. There's so much noise. So in order to stand out, and especially to make sales, especially if you're trying to sell something that's like a little bit higher price, like if you're selling anything in your business over a couple $100s, you're going to need trust with your audience. Like they're going to need to trust you to some degree. They're going to need to have some sort of relationship with you. They're going to have to get a sense of your vibes and who you are and to see if you're trustworthy, basically. And you're going to need that trust built in order to make sales. It doesn't matter how good your offer is, how good your product is, how good your marketing is. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy. And I think that's the main value of a personal brand is when you have that trust, sales is so much easier. So I'm going to give you a downloadable version of this framework so you can kind of study it on your own. I'm not going to go like super deep into everything, but your personal brand is basically the combination of like what's unique about you, your unique skills, your unique interests, your unique perspective on life. And it's like that combined with the problem that you solve for the market and the person that you solve that problem for. So it's important to get clear on like what that intersection is, the intersection between what you're good at and what you enjoy, and also what people are willing to pay for, and then solving a problem for a specific type of person. Now, the next key element I think that you need to have in your business, and this is the main thing that really took me to the next level, is what I call your infinity funnel. This is a way to scale your business that doesn't require you to hustle on social media all the time. You don't have to post endless amounts of organic content. It gives you a lot of leverage and a lot of freedom. I'm going to dive deeper into this in just a bit, so keep that in mind. The next is what I would call the fuel, or your content flywheel. This is what brings people into your world and gives you a steady flow of opportunities. That's basically your content marketing strategy. Your content is designed to attract people who would be ideal fit customers and clients. And the better your content marketing strategy is, the more people you're going to bring in. So the more fuel you're going to have to power your engine. If you're confused on where to start when it comes to this, I always recommend that people start with just one piece of weekly long form content, whether that's an email newsletter, a podcast, a YouTube video, but just start with that, because once you create that, it's going to make it a lot easier to create the other content that you might need to create. If you need to create emails or short form content or ads and stuff like that, a lot of that stuff can come from the long form content. It can be repurposed into that other stuff. You can repurpose your YouTube video script, for example, into emails. You can repurpose the video itself into short form clips or ads. So start with the long form piece of content and then let everything come from that. The next key element is what I call the accelerator. This is your core offer. This is like the main product that you sell. It's the front facing product. It's the thing that your brand kind of becomes known for. And it's like the entry point into your world. The core offer, the thing that people get wrong with this all the time that I see, is they think of their core offer as a way to generate profit, but it's not designed for that. If you're smart about it, your core offer is really designed to give you cash flow flow that you can reinvest into the business. Your core offer is not designed to make you money. So when you make sales of your core offer, you do not put that money into your pocket. That's the biggest mistake I see people make. That money that you make from your core offer is designed to go back into the business. So you reinvest it into advertising or into team members to help you grow the business. That is the business's money, not your money. Your money is going to come from what I would call your signature offer. That's maybe your higher priced offer, your signature coaching program, or your high ticket service, or your online course. The purpose of that product is to generate profit, but your core offer, your front facing offer, is not. Your core offer is typically priced between $20 and $200, somewhere in that range. It could go a little higher maybe in some cases, but it's more of like a low ticket product. That is like the entry point into your world. It's the first purchase people make with you usually. And when you make sales of that product, again, think of it as the business's money, not yours. So you reinvest that money as soon as you make it. That's the smartest way to do things, and that's going to accelerate your growth dramatically. If there's one mistake that I made in my early days of entrepreneurship, it was not reinvesting that money that I was making from my core offer. That was the biggest mistake I made. So as promised, I'm going to go deeper into the infinity funnel now. This is one of the most important elements of your whole business. It's what's going to make your business scalable. And this is a way to grow your business without needing a huge audience. So you could actually start this with no audience whatsoever, and it still works very well. So as I talked about, you're usually going to have a core offer priced between $20 and $200 or maybe up to $500 in some cases. This is the entry point into your world. And as I said, the money you make from this offer should not be spent on your lifestyle or your personal expenses. It should be reinvested into the business to generate more customers. Next, you're going to have your signature offer. This is the main profit generator in your business. This is usually something between like $500 and $5,000. In some cases, it might be like a subscription offer of some kind. But the purpose of this offer is to produce profit and to stabilize the business. So the purpose of your core offer is to bring someone into your world to pay for your advertising spend and then to pre-sell or create desire for your signature offer. So these aren't just random offers you create. You have to be strategic about this. You create the core offer with that in mind, that this offer is designed to increase the desire for this offer. So there's like a seamless connection between the two. The third step, which you'll probably do much later on your journey, is you create an automated selling system. So when someone buys your core offer or they come through like a free lead magnet or something, they are automatically sold your signature offer, and you automate as much of that sales process as possible so that you're making sales of that program every single day, and that you have this very powerful system that funds all of your advertising and marketing spend. What that does is it creates what I would call a self-funding flywheel, where let's say you put $1,000 into ads, that system then produces at least $1,000 back out within a very short time frame. So usually within like 1 to 7 days. So you have this automated system that sells your products for you 24/7, 365. And if you put $1,000 into marketing or advertising, that $1,000 comes back to you within 1 to 7 days, so that you're not risking your money, so that advertising isn't this gamble that you're playing. It's not like playing the lottery or something. It's a very predictable system that generates leads and customers for you basically around the clock 24/7, so that you don't have to hustle on social media all the time in order to generate leads and customers. You don't have to post, 5 times a day on social media or whatever. Organic marketing is still very useful, but that's more of a long-term game. It's not going to be the thing that takes your business to a whole nother level in a very short amount of time in most cases. Organic marketing takes a lot longer. That's why we want to build this sort of system so that we have more control over how fast we grow our business. So right here, I have a little example of how this works. So let's say you have a low ticket introductory, or what I would call a core offer, at $100. And then your signature offer is, let's say, $2,500. So the $100 offer is your entry point. That's where you send most of your traffic. And if you do a good job at marketing, you should be able to convert at least 2% of your leads, or people who buy your $100 product, into sales of your signature product. Some people can do a lot better than that, but 2% is like a reasonable expectation for most people. So 2% times 2,500 equals $50. So you would add that to the $100, and that gives you your profit per customer. So now you're profiting $150 per customer. And if we build that system that I talked about, the infinity funnel, then this happens automatically. The person comes through the core offer and they upgrade into your signature offer automatically. And so within a certain period of time, let's say it's 7 days, you're generating $150 per customer. What that means is you can go out and now spend money on advertising advertising in order to acquire customers, and you know that you can spend up to $150 to acquire one customer. If you spend $150 to acquire a customer and you make $150 per customer back within 7 days, now you have a self-funding flywheel. Now you can take any money that you make in that funnel and put it back into advertising and get more and more and more customers. Now that's kind of like the worst case scenario, like you just put $1 in and you get $1 back. In most cases, if you're decent at marketing, you'll be able to do better than that. You'll be able to maybe spend $100 to acquire a customer and you get $150 back. So in that case, you're making a profit on each sale that you generate. So this system can not just like bring you leads and customers for free, but it can also generate profit every single day for your business. Now, this isn't just theory. This is exactly what I've done in 2 different digital product businesses now to scale to 7 figures with low ticket product. I have proven that you can make this work with pretty much any kind of pricing model for your business, whether you sell low ticket products, whether you sell mid ticket online courses, whether you sell high ticket coaching programs, subscription offers. It doesn't really matter because this system works regardless, because basically what you're doing is you're just putting your lead generation on autopilot. So you create this system that generates you basically an infinite number of leads, because you're able to get the money that you're spending to acquire those leads back within a very short amount of time. So you're basically able to just spend infinite money on ads. And that front end system produces all the leads that you need to sell whatever you want to sell on the back end. If you want to send all those leads into your subscription offer, into your membership, into your course, into your coaching program, physical products, it could be anything. Anything that you want to sell on the back end, that's up to you, but you'll be able to make that work because you have so many leads coming in the front end of the business. That's why this system is so powerful. It gives you options. It gives you freedom. Most people in their business, they don't have freedom because they don't have enough leads and they don't have a way to predictably acquire those leads at scale in a way that doesn't require a ton of their time and energy. Most people are busy selling high ticket products and services, even if they don't want to, just because they have so small of an audience that they have to sell high ticket in order to pay the bills. They're stuck in business models and they're stuck doing things like maybe organic marketing that they don't even enjoy because they don't have lead flow and they don't have enough leads coming in every single day in an automated sort of way so that they can focus on selling what they actually want to sell, so that they can maybe successfully launch their online course, their digital product, their membership site, or whatever else they want to create. When you solve the lead generation issue, all those other things become possible. It then becomes possible to have a business model that actually gives you joy, that gives you freedom, that gives you space in your life. I think that's what most people want. And so you have to realize that lead generation is usually the bottleneck. And if your lead generation is entirely dependent on unscalable strategies like organic marketing or cold outreach or referrals or partnerships, then you're leaving a ton of money on the table and you're making the journey take way longer than it needs to. This plan I'm sharing with you is the shortcut. There are plenty of ways to grow your business. It's just that most of them are slow. If you want a faster path though, this is the way to do it. Because when you're able to spend money on your marketing rather than your time, well, that's scalable. Your money is scalable, your time is not. When you create a system like this where you can put $1 in and get $2 back out within a relatively short amount of time, you have basically created a money printer. Now, of course, there's a lot of work that goes into this. You actually have to have a good product. You have to have good marketing. You have to know how to build marketing funnels and copywriting and all that stuff. So there's a lot of skills that you need to make this work. But when you do get it working, it changes everything. This is the system that took me from basically completely broke, struggling to pay my bills every month, to making multiple 6 figures in profit every single year. So with that said, I want to go into a few more details. So first of all, if you're going to create a business where you're serving people at scale through more leveraged programs like digital products, courses, coaching programs, you're going to need to have a system of some kind, right? That you build for people. So this is the basic process that I recommend people follow. You want to have a customer journey, a process that you take your customers through. And this is going to give your customers and clients clarity, but it's also going to give you clarity on how you're serving your customers and clients. So basically you have an objective or a goal, something that you're helping people achieve, right? And then you're going to have phases on that journey. And then you're going to have a system of some kind that helps people navigate through that phase. You're also going to want to include accelerators, things that make the process faster for people. And then you're going to have milestones so that people know that they're making progress. When you design this system, it's going to make it much more clear on what you need to create and include in your offers. You can design a system like this for every single product that you create, like every course or every digital product or every coaching program. And you can also have like a master framework where it's like the entire customer journey that people go through as they progress through your entire product suite. So getting clear on that, I think, is very important. Now, depending on where you are in your business currently, it's going to determine what you need to do, right? So if you're just starting out, if you're a total beginner, you're not making any money online yet, you're going to be focused on validating an offer and validating your message. So the whole process here is just kind of like putting out as much as you can and testing as many different offers as you can, and then doing that as fast as possible. And you're going to need to be creating more unleveraged offers that you can adapt on the fly. So it's not like you have to create entire marketing funnels every time you want to launch something. Here, you might be selling with sales calls or a Google Doc or something, and so you can like change the offer whenever you need to. And you're just testing messaging in your content, you're testing offers to see what people actually want to buy. And you're usually going to start with like one-to-one consulting or done-for-you service or something that you can sell for a higher price so you can start to generate cash flow and get money in the door. Once you have validated something, a message that you want to share, and you realize that that resonates with people, an offer that you sell that you realize people want to buy, then you move into the systemization phase. This is where you systemize everything. You start to build out your marketing funnel. You start to build out a more leveraged version of your offer, maybe turning that into more of a group program, like a done with you offer rather than a done for you offer. Maybe turning it into an online course that you can sell at scale, or a low ticket digital product that you can use to pay for your advertising costs. This is when you start to systemize. And if you want to get to beyond 20K per month in profit, that's when you're going to be focusing on amplifying everything that you're creating. So you create the system, the marketing funnel, you use as much automation as possible, and then you basically pour fuel on the fire. This is when you're going to get into advertising. You're going to start to spend a lot more money on advertising because now you have a proven system, a proven offer that converts. So now you know you can spend money on marketing and you can make that profitable. And when you're able to start doing that, that's when you can scale to 7 figures relatively easily, because you already have all the elements in place that you need. And now it's just a matter of amplifying everything, just putting more people into the system. So you can study this on your own. I just want to go over a couple more things. So this is a success checklist. So when you can say yes to all of these, you basically have a very highly optimized and scalable business. So if you have at least one validated core offer priced between about $20 and $200, that's one step that you're going to need to take at some point. When you have a validated signature offer that's priced between $500 and $5,000, when you have a proven and repeatable sales process to consistently turn leads into buyers of your signature offer, when you have a repeatable content creation system that allows you to create high quality content on a consistent schedule, when you are not entirely dependent on organic marketing and you have the ability to actually spend money on marketing and profitably acquire customers using paid advertising, and when you know your key numbers such as average order value, your customer lifetime value, and your cost per acquisition. In order to scale with ads, you're going to need to know a lot of those numbers and those KPIs. When you have the ability to take at least 3 weeks completely off every quarter, or at least 1 week per month without affecting cash flow in any way. Ideally longer than that. Like if you can't take time off in your business, like if you take time off and then the business completely dies and no more money comes in, that's a huge problem. That's something that you need to address. And then when you have a clear picture of exactly what you need to do in the next 12 months to grow your business, and you have focus areas for each quarter, you know exactly what milestones you need to hit. So those are some boxes you're going to want to check. Now, finally, I have a decision tree here. Now, this is the recommended order of operations. Like you need to do this, then this, then this, then this. So first, ask yourself, are you consistently creating content that delivers value and builds know, like, and trust with your audience, meaning at least one long form piece of content per week and or 5 to 7 pieces of short form content per week? Are you doing this? If not, that's the first thing you need to focus on. The first thing you need to focus on is putting value out into the world and helping other people, because that's the law of the universe. It's the law of karma, if you will. When you help other people, then you will be helped in return. Once you're doing that, then ask yourself, do you have a signature offer that you can sell for at least $500? This might be a done-for-you service, a one-to-one consulting offer when you're starting out, and eventually you might transition this into being like an online course or a group coaching program or something like that. Do you have that in place? If not, that's the first thing you should focus on after you have a consistent content creation schedule. Once you can say yes to that, you want to ask yourself, do you have a core product priced between $20 and $200 that can pay for your customer acquisition and build desire for your signature offer? Do you have a front end offer? If no, you need to focus on creating that, because that's going to make your business way more scalable, because this product here can pay for your advertising. So then sales of your signature offer are pure profit. And then you can generate thousands and thousands of leads who would be a good fit for your signature offer. So you're going to be able to sell way more copies of your signature offer. Once you can say yes to that, then it's, do you have a proven and repeatable process for selling your signature offer? Maybe it's a launch process that you follow, a webinar that you create, that you run on a certain schedule, a monthly promotion cycle that you do, sales calls, if maybe that's what you do, or some other type of system that is proven and repeatable for selling your signature offer. So it's not like you're guessing or wondering, like, is anybody going to buy my signature offer? You have a repeatable process that can sell it at scale and do that over and over and over again. If you don't have that, you want to experiment with different types of selling systems and see what works for you, what feels the best, and what works the best. If you can say yes to that, now you want to ask, do you have a fully automated sales funnel that sells your signature offer to warm leads every single day? If not, you need to start building out that system. Build out a system that can sell your signature offer for you even when you're not working, even if you have nothing to do with it. So that could be through technology or through team. So you can use technology and software to automate the sales process, or you can use a team maybe to do the sales calls for you and to close the deals for you, or you can do a combination of both of those. If you can say yes to all of these, then congratulations, you have a very scalable business and you're probably already doing very well. Before I go, I just want to reiterate why this is important. This is a way that you can create a truly scalable business so that you don't have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week if you don't want to. You can work 20 hours a week. That's about what I work. It's about 20 hours most weeks. You can take a couple weeks off here and there whenever you feel like it. You can take days off during the week if you need to. You can have a super chill type of business. And you can do this solo if you want to. Like, I run my business solo. I don't have a team or anything. Occasionally I'll hire people to help me with like one-off projects and stuff, but it's mostly just me. And I'm still able to do about 7 figures in revenue per year, multi 6 figures in profit per year, just doing this by myself. And the reason I'm able to do that is because my business is designed to be scalable. It's designed to be lean, to be efficient, to have as few moving pieces as possible, and to have a lot of leverage built into it. That's why it works so well. So if you want my help building this out, just click the link down below. And I hope you found this helpful. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.